Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to show you how to take care of a Venus Flytrap. So let's get straight into it. Basically there's like 3 steps that you need to go through before, well, when you get your Venus Flytrap, there's basically 3 that are vital steps that you need to know before buying a Venus Flytrap. So here they are. Step number 1. Do not remove the Venus Flytraps from their pot when you get them from the store, alright? So basically, when they come from the store, they are in a small pot, and taking them to a big plant pot is quite a drastic change from a small plant pot, and it will just overwhelm the plant, and the plant at the point of its growth will not have big enough roots to spread, and the plant will likely die. I know this because the first Venus Flytrap I had, I transferred it to a bigger pot. Not too much bigger, about 2 sizes up, and within about 3 weeks it died. So yeah, make sure to keep it in a pot if possible. If not possible, then just put it in something that is pretty much the same. And that brings us to step number 2. So step number 2 is basically the direct stage after step number 1. So in step number 2, you do not, and I repeat, do not use any other soil apart from peat moss and perlite. Hey guys, just wanted to briefly stop the video and say you have to use peat moss and perlite together. Because rewatching this video, I did understand that would be unclear to some people. Now, I also found this out the hard way when I got my Venus Flytrap. It actually, we replaced it, instead of using peat moss and perlite, we used this like hardened type soil it was quite a hard type of soil for the plant to grow in, and that also contributed to the fact that it died. So yeah, don't put it in, and if you have to take it out of its pot, like if it's really dying, you had to put it in some new soil or something, like please just put it in perlite and peat moss, because it really doesn't like any other types of soils. So that brings us to step number 3. So step number 3 is probably one of the most important ones. There are a few more steps after this, but these are the 3 vital steps, so yeah. So step number 3, these plants are different to lots of other plants. They're not the same. So basically, because they live in tropical places, they can't get there, because they live in places where it's quite tropical and there's lots of water, and they can't get the nutrients from the sun because there's not that much sun, and the water washes away all the nutrients they get from the ground. So what do? They get nutrients from insects, as you can see here. Now I will show you in a second for step number 4, but I'll just keep talking about step number 3. So yeah, step number 3, they need insects to survive. If they're not in a place where they can eat insects, if they're not getting insects, they're not going to survive. So yeah, that brings us to step number 4. Now, step number 4 is also quite an important step. It's not a vital step, but it is quite important. So if you're buying a Venus Flytrap, please, I have learnt this out of buying about like 7 Venus Flytraps, don't hand feed them, guys, okay? These, like, if you hand feed Venus Flytraps, they're not gonna grow. It's kind of like coddling a child. Like, a Venus Flytrap isn't gonna, look, I'll just show you. So when I first got these Venus Flytraps, I hand fed them, and because of that, they are quite small, and their growth is not as great as I'd like to be. Also, their reaction time is quite poor because I fed them insects with tweezers. Therefore, they didn't have to put effort in. They just had to close a trap. Therefore, over time, they got slower, and yeah. Now, these are a completely different group of Venus Flytraps that I do not hand feed. And as you can see, there is quite some difference. Here's the ones that are hand-fed. Here's the ones that I didn't hand feed. So if you can, guys, don't hand feed Venus flytraps. They can catch their own food as long as you put them in a place where there's lots of insects. Like right over here, there's quite a few flies come and land on the window, and moths come and land in and around the traps. So yeah, try not to hand feed them if you can. Another important step is they get watered from the bottom. So lots of experts say that you should probably mist them. I don't mist mine, but if you guys want to do that, you can. But I usually just water them from the bottom here, as you can see. Don't water them from the top, because that's not how they get watered. Just water them from the bottom and they take the water up. And yeah. Now this brings us to step number, I think it's step number 5. Yeah, step number 5, maybe 6. So step number 5 is where to put them. Now, these plants, they wouldn't survive. They're like you got to think about it. You want it to be beneficial to you. So you want it to benefit you because you live in a house. So you'll keep your Venus flytraps in the house. If you keep them outside, it's quite a jump for them, because they, as I said before, they come from a tropical climate. If you put them on direct sunlight, it's going to be quite a, it's going to be a bit much for them, and the environment wouldn't be that great. So really, the area you want to put them in is a nice area that often attracts insects. But I put mine by like a window, as I showed you before, and window where flies often fly up to it and they fall, and then they find the Venus flytraps and get drunk from the nectar, and then they fly around them, and eventually a trap shuts and eats them. So you want to put them in a place where they can get sunlight through like a window, and a place where insects will come around them, and just, and out of reach of other pets and animals. And yeah. Well, guys, I'm pretty sure that does it for today's video. If you have any questions about Venus flytraps, feel free to ask me in the comments. I'm pretty sure I covered most of the vital stuff you need to know before buying a Venus flytrap. But yeah, any questions you have about Venus flytraps, feel free, ask me in the comments below. I'll do the best of my abilities to answer them. And yeah, that's the simple and easy guide to taking care of a Venus flytrap. See you in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe. See ya!